Hello, welcome to the Prem with Henley Town FC. We are now in the Hellenic League Premier Division and we've just completed pre-season. We're about to play our first game of the season and it's against Wantage. So let's have a look in the game. So as you can see, we're on the inbox screen and Lucas Moura has signed from to Leverkusen, can you believe? But let's have a look at how the squad is shaping up for the season. So let's go to transfers first. So looking at the transfer history, we've lost two players in Callum Dunn and Michael Hewitt. Hewitt's gone to Chesham, who are in the Evo Stick Premier Division, so a league higher, 2 leagues higher than us. And Callum Dunn's gone to Hazen Yenning, also I believe 1 league higher than us at the Bostik League Division 1 South. So they've obviously gone on to bigger leagues. We have, however, brought in a variety of transfers. Not all of them are going to play, but it's just there to help boost the squad up. And I'll show you probably my top pick, which would be Lewis White, who we signed on a free transfer, 18 years old, from Millwall. So he's come from the Championship to the Hellenic League Premier Division. As you can see, he's not too bad for my division. So let's have a look at where my players are. So a couple of players have dropped down into the under 23s. I can imagine them leaving soon. Some new signings as well have got in there because I don't think they quite cut the grade. So they've made it down to the under 23s. However, he may make appearance back into the squad because we lost Michael Hewitt and I haven't replaced him yet. Looking at our actual squad, so let's have a look at our tactics. As you can see, we've got that gaping hole there where Michael Hewitt was. And he's going to be filled by David Green. So there we go. That is our... Oh yeah, and I also struggled to think who would be my 5th substitution. So if I put in Peacock now into the defensive slot. But who do I put as my 5th substitution? I've got Jordan Holdsworth, who came from Brentwood in the league above and has floated around the non-leagues for a while. Tundi, who was a great player for me last year, looks quite decent. Again, floated around the non-league for a bit. Lewis Troke, again, came from League 2 from Burton and was one of my best players last year. So, I don't know who to put there because Scott Ryan, who is fairly decent, again, around the non-league scene, joined last year, late on, scored 4 goals out of 6 appearances. So, I think it's going to have to be Lewis Troke on the bench for the moment. But that could change. As you can see, I've got a new midfielder in Gretton. He came from Lincoln. And George Wynn as well. He has taken the place of Lucas Cole. And he's from Thurrock, who's done pretty well in the lower leagues as well. So we've got a couple of new players. Obviously, the 2 centre-backs are brand new as well. This one came from Northampton. Cobblers, I know. And this one came from... we had him last year. Played 4 games and now he's making a bigger game. I didn't even realise he was in my team last year. How bad is that? Now, this player, he did very well for me towards the end of last season, playing 3 games and conceding none. So he's going to get the nod in the Hellenic Premier Division, ahead of my new goalkeeper, Tom Palmer, who comes from Kidderminster, and who was on loan to Stourport the other week. So, that is my new team lineup. As you can see, I've still kept with the same staff. So I've got 1 assistant, 1 chief scout, and 1 head of physio, and we're the best in the league. But apart from that, we're not that great anywhere else. So we'll have to see how we fare in this league. Our competitions that we've got. So as you can see, we've won all our friendlies. 4-3, 2-0, 3-2, 3-1. We've got Wantage in the first game of the season away, and then we're away to Sporting Bengal in the preliminary round of the FA Cup. And that's the only competitions I think. Well, I think we've got the Vars as well. I'm not sure. Let me just check the competitions. Normally I have competitions up here, so let's get rid of promises because I don't really care. I do care, but yeah. Squad, team competitions, there we go. So we are in the FA Vars, the preliminary round of the, and that's what we're playing for this year. We are in a minus 10,507 financial situation. However, I'm hoping it may improve as we've gone up a league now. I don't know about our income yet. I don't know what's happening, but last season we made an income of 57,550 and we had an expenditure of 70,435. So I'm hoping we can do a bit better. We have got two new sponsors. Well, we've got a new sponsor. We've got an additional sponsor for 1,000 and they're going for a 2-year deal. But the projection looks like by the end of this year we'll be 39,000 in debt. Again, rising. So it's steadily declining, but if we steadily move up the leagues, hopefully we'll see a difference and hopefully get into the red. So fingers crossed. We will play the first game Wantage, just to see how we get on and set us up for the rest of the season. Then we'll come back at the end of the season to find out how Henley Town did in the Hellenic the Hellenic League Premier Division. So we are on the preview screen of what's happening. So Wantage have sold 95 tickets for this, and we're going to play a 4-2-4, which we do. And our scout report says they've got a bigger strength as their midfield, but the weaker strength as a goalkeeper. So I'm hoping my strikers can capitalise on that. But before we play the game, let's have a look at the season preview. So in my team we have 2 players. I apologise. The media think are going to be the best dream team in that league. We are the 5-2 favourites to win the league, and I think we're 1-5 to get promoted as well. And we're 1-25 on to get relegated. So they think we're going to stay in the league at least, but they think we're going to get promoted and probably be champions. So I'm hoping that is the case. Let's have a look at our first team. So this is our team lineup here. I think I'm pretty happy with that. We've got obviously White and Ryan up front, so 2 new strikers. Ryan from last season at the end, and White new this season, so hopefully they can capitalise it. I've got Troke in the bench if needed. Let's see how we get on. This is what we're going to do. It's the first game of the season. I'm just going to go out there and go, do you know what? All the best out there and have fun. I'm going to head the assistant to do the rest, and we're going to end the team talk, and we're going to kick off. So here we go. Wantage versus Henley. And again, not many people in the crowd, but we've kicked off. We're playing in red. And I do apologise. I do have fast highlights on because I don't believe in having the slowness, and it's just key highlights as well, so it's just mainly the goals, red cards and injuries that we may see. So at the moment, with the 15 minutes gone really on the clock, they've had 1 shot and they get their key highlight here. Well, they started off with a key highlight. We've now taken over. White takes the ball into Ryan and we've gone 1-0 up. Yes! Go on, Scott Ryan. This is what I like to see. I'd like to see us winning games, winning balls, and we look like we did well. Here we go. Here's Wantage's highlight, and they've managed to get an equaliser thanks to Jake Bett's header. We've got a free kick we've taken and it's gone wide. So half time, we are drawing 1-1 at the moment. So let's head to the dressing room. And do you know what? I'm going to put a bit of pressure on. I'm going to say, do you know what? We can still win this. Work hard. We can do this. I've handed over to the assistant to do the rest. We've ended the team talk. And we're going to start the second half. So Griggs on the ball for Wantage now. This is their highlight. House to Hicks to Leighton. Leighton now plays the ball back out to Griggs. Griggs inside to Romeo. Romeo to in the midfield, but it's lost by Wantage and picked up by White to Gretton to Harris. Harris crosses in. It's a great header by Maxwell and puts us 2-1 up. That's what I like to see. Well done, Maxwell. Great play there. Great steal from the boys, and we are 2-1 up. So 60 minutes into the clock, and I think I'm going to make a couple of substitutions. So Downey, who was a player from last year, will come on instead of Gretton. So I'm going to bring Gretton off, but I'm also going to bring on Grimshaw for Harris, and we will leave it there for the moment. I might bring on Toke a little bit later on in the game. Just want to see how these two substitutions do. First off, not great start. We had a free kick, we lose it, and Wantage now take possession. It's in the midfield now. It's played forward, but lovely tackle by Green. He's played a lovely ball forward, and White's latched onto it. He's crossed it, but it's gone to no one. We still have possession. Ryan shoots and makes us 3-1 leaders there. Well done, Ryan. Another throw, and it's lost, and here goes Wantage on the attack with Aaron's lovely through ball. House shoots and puts it over. It's not a bad start. We're 3-1 up at the moment, 70 odd minutes played. I think this is where I'm going to make my final substitution, and unfortunately it's going to be for Troke is going to have to stay on the bench because we have a slight injury, and Peacock, who can play in a number of positions, is actually just going to play in midfield for the rest of this game for us, because I don't want any more damage done to Strip. So unfortunately Troke has to sit on the bench for this game. 5 minutes of added on time here, and we are 3 minutes in, so looks like we're doing pretty well here. This looks to be the final highlight thrown in, and we've won. So we have done very well, and I think we got player of the match as well with Scott Ryan with his 2 goals, 88.8 average. Poor game defensively. If you look, we're only in the 6.7s, 6.5 and 4 for our 2 newbies in the back as well. So let's go to the dressing room. Let's actually just say, do you know what? Well done. A very good victory. Hand over to the assistant, and we'll end the team talk there. That is the end of our first game, and we couldn't have got off to a positive start, beating Wantage 3-1. Join me towards the end of the season now, and we'll find out how Henley Town get on into the Prem. So guys, we are at the end of the second season now, and as you can see by the league table behind me, we ended in 3rd place. So before we do, let's go to the emails, because obviously it's the end of the season, so it'll be all about what happened, etc. So as you can see, the following competition, the best 11 supporters have announced that 5 players are considered good enough to enter. So that's Lewis White, Liam Doyle, Prudence, Jerome, Nicholas, and you can see that Doyle's made it there alongside Hendry. White's made it alongside Troke, but the others have made it on the bench. So Freund, Prudence, and Jerome. So that is how the season ended there. So we've got 5 new inductees to the overall best 11. Bear in mind we're only 2 seasons in. So let's have a look at the awards, and Maxwell gets the Fans Player of the Year award. You've got Liam Doyle's goal against Fairford. Signing of the season is Liam Doyle, and the Young Player of the Season is Maxwell. So let's have a look at Doyle's goal of the season then, and let me know in the comments below if you thought it was a great goal and worthy of goal of the season. Obviously you've got no other goals to compare it to, but do you think it was a goal of the season? Let's have a look. Highlights are just loading. So here we go. One of the new strikers, Toure. Toure plays the ball out to where Harris is. Harris plays it infield. Doyle takes a shot first time, and it goes in the back of the net. Not really a bad goal, really, for a goal that's outside the box. Not really a worldie, I would say, but yeah. As you can see, that game ended up 5-1. So there we go. Let's have a look at some of the stats. So top goal scorer was Lewis Troke with 21 goals, with Maxwell the best rated. Harris had the most assists, and best pass completion was Toure. Most man of the matches were Maxwell. Most yellow cards were Lowe, and I had no red cards this year. That's a good thing to see. So looking at the review, it was fairly disappointing. We finished third in the Hellenic Premier Division. Remember, at the beginning of the season, we were odds-on favourite to win the league. So we'll look at that in a little bit more detail in a bit. We lost in the second qualifying round to Rochester, and we lost in the second preliminary round to Chatham. The squad update, we don't need to do that. So we're going to do the end of season meeting now and discuss plans for next year. So next year, I really want to go and finish as champions, because I think that's what we should be looking at. And do you know what? I'm glad everyone was on the same reaction, and all of a sudden it just turns. Okay. End of season confidence review. So there we go. To summarise, they're satisfied with my management. They're happy with the club finances, etc. Injury report. So Peacock missed most time, and that was with one injury. A couple of players had a couple of other injuries, but there we go. Yearly training. No, one person unhappy, 21 happy, so that's not too bad. And we're going to decide to start the pre-season, which is when we'll come back next year, to the 1st of July, like that. So let's have a look at what happened to our season. So got off a good start, winning our first game, as we know, Wantage 3-1, and then winning the FA Cup preliminary round 2-0. We then won 4-0, drew 0-0, then lost in our replay. So that wasn't too bad. Then we hit a bit of a bad patch of form, losing a couple. But where it really came down, I think maybe it was around this area. Let's have a quick look. I mean, Tuffney Rovers won the league. Let's have a quick look. So, yeah, Tuffney Rovers won the league. We did have our goalkeeper then, but I felt that it started to dip, or where we really started to see the issues happening, was when Nicholas Freund, our goalie, yeah, that game there was his last game for us, and then he left us, and then we hit a bit of a bad patch where maybe we lost a couple of games where we shouldn't have lost, and then when the fate was sealed in this game, I decided that I would change the squad completely, and we went with different players. But I mean, yeah, the bad patch there, and then the bad patch around here didn't help anything really for us. So we ended up third in the league. We'll have a look at the league table now. So as you can see, third in the league with 73 points, 9 points behind Tuffney Rovers, who were top. And as you can see, we lost 9 games, drew 7, and won 22. We could have finished second, but because I decided by the time the league was done, only one person was getting promoted, I'd give other players a run out. And that's what we did. So let's have a look at the stats and the player overall. Wrong one, player D, player overview. So as you can see, average ratings. So Lewis Troke got got 5th with 21 goals. Jovelyn Campbell, who I did try and sign, and Jordan Curran, who I did also try and sign, were the top 2 really. Average ratings, Maxwell's in there. Matt Lowe, top yellow cards, not good. He did get a couple of match bans for that. But as you can see, we didn't perform as well as we did last year. So it's going to be a big overhaul for next season, I think. Let's have a look at my transfers. So as you know, being a non-league team, we do have a overhaul of transfers. So as you can see, after you guys left, so that would have been after the first game, Michael Hewitt was the only one to leave. We lost Scott Ryan, Majid, Freund, White went to Uxbridge. I couldn't compete with the wage demand he wanted. Green, Jesse Sambu, Wynn and Chillot all left, and that meant that I had to bring in players. So I brought in players like Tom Palmer, Jordan Holdsworth, etc. And I got this guy, Paul Walker, when Nicholas left. when Nicholas Freund left. He ended up leaving me and ended up going to sit in the under 23s. I don't understand it. He was doing really well with me before he decided to leave. But yeah, so that's what happened. Lewis White as well. Also, he's sitting in the first team at Uxbridge. Played 16 games for Uxbridge, scoring 3 goals. So not quite the success that he had when with us. 18 goals, 18 appearances, 15 goals. But there we go. There's that one. So that was kind of the main ins and outs, really. No one. Oh, there is release players. I think I released a few. If there's some there. Yeah. So these are the players that I released as well. Now I released them is because they said they're all unhappy and they didn't want to stay in the squad. So I thought, well, no point keeping them. Just get rid. So that is literally how our season went. Looking at our finances, we had a bit of a dip at the end of August where we went in profit, and then we went back under again, and then we came back in a bit, and we've gone back out again. So 9,000 overall, which isn't too bad. Our projection's still quite low, which is good. I'm managing to keep on top of the finances, so we're staying pretty good. However, we do need to progress with ourselves. We do need to try and get ahead of ourselves and get into the next league. That's what we need to do. We need to increase the fan base as well. I don't know how that's going to happen, but next season for definite, we do need to concentrate on, I reckon, probably my goalkeeping and my defence. At the moment, I got this guy in from my youth team on a free, and he played 10 games and only conceded 13, so I'm quite happy with that ratio. Whereas Connor Barton, I think, has only played 2 games, 2 concedes this year. He's not. I just didn't feel like I wanted to go with him. And Paul Walker, who I got from the club, played 9 games and conceded 14. So I'm hoping next year that my goalkeeper, Okonkwo, will be my player for next year. If not, I will be looking for a new goalkeeper. I'm hoping I can get something out of my forwards, maybe get a new forward in, help beef up my defences, my midfield, and maybe look at my defence as well. So there will be looking at areas of improvement because I do want to get out of this league and obviously help with our rush to the Prem. I know it's going to take us a couple of years, a couple of seasons as well, but let's just stick with it and see how we get on. Guys, if you liked the video, please hit the like button, and also if you haven't already done, please do hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next episode where we're still in the Hellenic League Premier Division, and let's see if we can get out of this division and into the next league. Thank you so much for watching.